Welcome to the Sports World 1869, a world so large you're a part of it, whether you know it or not. Week 5 is happening in baseball, and we're going to talk about it in the 5th edition of the Week of Review. So one of the key themes of this week would have to be home runs. There were a lot of them, including A-Rod, who hit his 661st career home run, which passed Willie Mays. Although, due to the steroids that he took, I really doubt it means anything. But technically speaking, he has passed Willie Mays. Bryce Harper hit 3 home runs in one game, then 2 in the next, and continued to hit home runs even afterwards, breaking a national franchise record of hitting 5 home runs in 2 games. Alexei Ramirez hit his career number 100 home run and 101 against the Reds during the doubleheader on Saturday, and there were a lot of walk-off home runs as well, and that was probably the main theme. Another cool home run was the one that Adrian Gonzalez hit off the scoreboard against the Milwaukee Brewers. Some notable injuries of the week would have to be Alex Cobb. First off, decided that after failing to rehab his arm, he will indeed go under the knife and have Tommy John surgery. George Springer crashed into the wall, making a fantastic defensive play, but had a concussion, so he's out for a few days. It's probably not serious, but still, you gotta be cautious nonetheless. Yasiel Puig hurt himself in a rehabilitation game that he was playing, so that kind of hurts him a little bit. It's a bit of a setback. Hopefully he comes back. Usually when you have setbacks during your rehab, you're not coming back for a little bit, so that's unfortunate. Hanley Ramirez did something really stupid. He ran into the Green Monster, well, not really the Green Monster, but the wall right next to it, and he smashed his shoulder. The same shoulder, by the way, that was surgically repaired. So you better believe he's going to be out for a little bit. I'm not sure what he was thinking, but a lot of people suspected that the Green Monster was going to eat Hanley Ramirez, and it kind of did. Last thing to note before going over the awards of the week, something kind of strange happened this week, and that was the fact that the Rockies and the Arizona Diamondbacks and even the Padres, those games were delayed due to rain, and I think even snow at one point, and they broke a record, I believe, for the most amount of consecutive games that were delayed in a short span of time, which is very strange and unusual, and it seems like every week something strange and unusual keeps happening. Obviously last week with the empty stadium, and this week with the amount of rain delays there were in Colorado. So hopefully you're not on their schedule for playing them, because if you are, you're probably going to get a rain delay or even a snow delay, believe it or not.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So now it's time for the awards of the week. And the first award we give out is the starter of the week, and the nominees are Zach Greinke, Colby Lewis, Tim Lincecum, Madison Bumgarner, Dallas Keuchel, Shelby Miller, Mike Leake, Ruby De La Rosa, Felix Hernandez, and Jarrett Weaver. And the best pitcher of the week goes to Tim Lincecum. Technically, Dallas Keuchel should probably get it again, but I'm giving it to Tim Lincecum because he's having a comeback year. Last year, it looked like Lincecum's career was probably at an end, and this year he is proving he's still got plenty left in the tank. He's pitching fantastic, at least for now, and he's having a much better start to this year than he did last year and even the year prior. He's finally figuring out what he has to do out there to get the outs. He doesn't throw the ball as hard as he used to, but kind of like Jake Peavy last year for the Giants towards the second half of the season, he's kind of redefining himself. And in baseball, that's very hard to do, but when you do it, it is very commendable. So therefore, I'm giving it to Tim Lincecum, but technically speaking, I think Dallas Keuchel still had a better week. But I'm giving it to Tim Lincecum. Best reliever of the week. The nominees are Andrew Miller, Francisco Rodriguez, Trevor Rosenthal, Drew Storen, Familia, and David Robertson. And I'm giving it to Andrew Miller. 11 saves, no earned runs. He comes out there, he gets the save. He is probably the best closer of this week, and he's been for so many weeks. The Yankees are in first place, believe it or not, and when you have Betances and this guy in the back end of your bullpen, that's probably why. And he is a great closer and definitely deserved of this award. I'm considering giving it to David Robertson, but he has not enough saves yet because he also this week had a 0 ERA, but he also has not had as many opportunities to save. So that also kind of reflects badly on your team one way or the other. It's kind of a good way in the sense that you have so many run support. You don't need your closer to come out there, but it's also kind of bad because it means your team's not winning enough. Because in baseball today, especially today, not so much in the past, but today in baseball, games are won and lost by your bullpen. Starters don't go as far or as deep as they used to, so if your closer isn't getting much work out there, it's probably because you're not winning many games. Unfortunately, Trevor Rosenthal is having a fantastic season. Last year's ERA was like 4 point something. This year it's like .93. He is figuring things out, and that's very good for the Cardinals. And Storen is good, which we already knew. And Familia is keeping the Mets rolling. So everyone had a good week. But Andrew Miller, just for the consistency, just because it's his first time doing it, just because he has no earned runs, I'm giving it to him for the best closer / reliever of the week. Now for the worst starters of the week, and the nominees are Danny Duffy, Despaigne, Corey Kluber, Scott Kazmir, and Samuel Danino, and I'm giving it to Corey Kluber. This is the Cy Young winner last year. How is he giving up so many runs? He's like 0-5 of a 4 point something ERA. I know there's a lot of guys worse out there like Dickey and Kelly and Miley, but this is your former Cy Young winner. He's proving that he might just have been a one-hit wonder because he is having so many issues out there. Now, I know I've read up and I found out that last year he had a bad start to the season. And I get that. It doesn't change anything. He's still not a good pitcher right now, and the Indians are struggling right now. They are losing to the Twins. The Twins. I know the Twins are winning a lot of games, and I might discuss, what I think about that, if that means anything, if anything. But at this point, Kluber is not pitching to the standards he had in last season. And if he wants to be in the Cy Young contention or just be a good quality pitcher, he has got to improve because that's not acceptable at all. The one thing the Indians had going this year, besides pretty good offense, was the pitching staff. And if your leading pitcher is not doing well, you're not winning games. It's that simple. Worst relievers / closers of the week, and the nominees are Craig Kimbrell, Chad Smith, and Christian Berkman. And I'm giving it to Craig Kimbrell. He blew a save when they really needed him to come through, and that's not acceptable from a man who was acquired to be the ending point, the victory claimer, the game saver for your team. And if he's not doing that, it's not acceptable. Christian Bergman was bad too against the Diamondbacks in that doubleheader, but he's a long relief kind of guy. So if he's coming out there anyways, it's probably because the game's over. But Craig Kimbrell, wow. The other guy I really wanted to give it to was Kevin Gregg. Because Kevin Gregg, every time he comes out there, the game is over. The game was 3-2. Kevin Gregg came out there and all of a sudden was 7-2. That's how bad he is. He is so bad, there is a petition that people are signing, only Reds fans, of course. Why else would you be signing it? But Reds fans were signing it to get Kevin Gregg into the AAA team. Maybe off the roster altogether. He is bad beyond belief, and I was considering putting him on here, but I think if the closer, a main guy who's supposed to be good, is not good, gets it priority over someone who just stinks. Stinks. Now it's time to give the award for the best defense of the week. Normally I just say Nolan Arenado and move on, but this week There were some fantastic defensive plays, and I'm just going to go out and just say Jose Altuve and George Springer did insane plays out there. Altuve had a key double play, like a bare hand grab. He is fantastic, which is great because I'm pretty sure last year defense was not his strong suit. Obviously, hitting is. And to see him come out there and do those defensive plays is fantastic. Springer as well. He even hurt himself making a key catch. And another game he did a key slide to save a run or two. Those two plays give those two guys the best defense of the week. Like I said, there was a lot of cool plays out there. But if you watch that one game, I think it was May 5th or 4th, I forgot which. There were so many defensive plays made by Altuve and Springer. Of course, that was during the time when the Astros were winning 10 games in a row. They, of course, lost that streak to the Rangers this week, but did a fantastic job with the defense. Something else interesting as well, there was a triple play between the Pirates and the Cardinals. It was a 4-5, 5-4 triple play. The very first in the major leagues, because usually the base running is not that bad. But in the case of the Cardinals, it was. There were some force outs, and therefore we had the triple play. But I'm giving it to the Astros for the best defense of the week. Worst defense of the week would have to go to Hanley Ramirez. He ran after the ball into the outfield that was going to the wall. He smashed into the wall making the catch, and he hurt his arm. And the reason why I'm giving this bad defense and Springer's not bad defense, because Springer was simply fielding the ball in the outfield. Hanley was charging into the wall with his shoulder, the one he hurt first, ramming it in there. If you have injured your shoulder previously and you know running forward you might break it, you don't do that. Plus, it's very possible it might have been a foul ball. Either way, if you're paying me millions of dollars, I'm not going to be stupid out there and injure myself, potentially ruining the Boston Red Sox chances or any team that signed me from going to the playoffs, because a key injury like this can do that, and therefore I'm giving it to Hanley Ramirez for the worst defense of the week. Jerk of the week goes to Joey Votto. If you're the captain of your team, the highest paid athlete as well, you do not, and I repeat, you do not go to an umpire, argue with him, and get suspended. Yes, it was one game, but it could have been a lot more. That is not tolerable. I know they fined him, but if you're the captain of the team, you do not argue with the umpires and get yourself suspended. Not acceptable if you're the captain. I hope Price or whoever gave him a good talking to, because you do not do that. Plus, Votto is a big man. He is 31 years old. Act your age. Not acceptable. So he's jerk of the week. Best home run of the week. This is probably the hardest one today because there were so many good ones this week. For example, you had Harper's 3 home runs consecutively hit. One was like 2, I think, were upper deck. Adrian Gonzalez smashed the scoreboard against the Brewers, something I've never seen before, at least this year, and that was impressive. Alexei hit his home run for 100, 101. Alex Rodriguez hit home run number 661, passing Willie Mays. So you had so many key home runs to hit. Carter hit some big ones. Trout hit some ones. Rizzo and Dexter Fowler hit some. I mean, there were so many key home runs. Brian hit his first home run, and the world stopped when that happened. I'm going to give it to Bryce Harper for the best home run of the week, because when you hit 3 in one game and then 2 in the next, it's very impressive. Plus, they were upper deck bombs. He wasn't just barely getting it. He does not miss it when he hits home runs. So I have to give it to him for the best home run of the week. But Adrian Gonzalez hitting off the scoreboard, very impressive for a second place finishing. But Bryce Harper is the man. And if he keeps hitting like this, the Nationals are going to keep winning games, and they are going to go to the playoffs. So it's a good thing that their number one guy, Bryce Harper, is finally picking it up. Best hitter of the week. The nominees are Paul Goldschmidt, Anthony Rizzo, Matt Holliday, Adrian Gonzalez, Bryce Harper, Josh Donaldson, and Torrey Hunter. And I'm giving it to Bryce Harper because he hit 6 home runs in the past 3 to 4 days. And he hit a walk-off one. 3 in one game, 2 in the next. He broke a record. He is on fire. He is probably the best hitter the Nationals have had in a long time. And he's finally doing what he has to get his team to victory. However, I would like to point out that Torii Hunter had a fantastic week. The Twins were winning a lot of games, and he was responsible. He was hitting home runs, including 3-run shots, a walk-off home run. Every highlight I looked at, he was doing something. He was always in the mix. For a man his age, he is playing above expectations. Maybe being home is doing something. Who knows? Matt Holliday is still carrying the team on his back, batting .370 and scoring all the runs. He is the main reason why the Cardinals won 8 in a row, because of how good he is. Josh Donaldson is also a great hitter. Ever since the Blue Jays put him in the first and second spot of the lineup, he is producing. He is a phenomenal hitter, and definitely someone I wanted to put on here. Same with Adrian Gonzalez. That man has not stopped since day one. Every single day, every single week, he is on fire. He is hitting, keeping his team in the mix. Great player. And once again, another guy who's kind of old, but not showing it by the way he is playing. And Paul Goldschmidt, man, Paul Goldschmidt and Mark Trumbull are one of the best 1-2 punches in a lineup. They destroyed the Rockies. They destroyed the Padres. They destroyed everybody. Goldschmidt is smacking home runs left and right, RBIs. He is doing everything for the Diamondbacks, and he's one of the reasons why I think as the season progresses, the Diamondbacks are going to be a better team and they're going to be in the playoff mix because of how good him and Trumbull are. As long as they stay healthy, as long as they keep hitting, they are one of the best 1-2 punches in baseball. I have a lot of confidence that things are going to go well for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So that concludes this edition of the Week of Review. If you liked the video, please throw some heat at the like button. Thanks for watching and have a great day.